So I've got a question. What's worse, a president that criticizes Nordstrom or one that criticizes the police, as our former President Obama did? This week, President Trump, signed executive orders backing law and order. But the liberal press pretty much ignored it. As you can see on the left, the amount of time they spent on Nordstrom. On the right, the amount of time they spent covering these new executive orders on law and order. Are they focused on the wrong things? Here to weigh in, radio talk show host and Fox News contributor David Webb. David, thanks for joining us this morning. So why all the focus on Nordstrom? Why little focus on executive orders?
Look, flood the zone if you're the media and you don't like Trump with every other story but what's important. When he signed those 3 executive orders, he set the standard, or at least reset the standard, on going after transnational gangs, on going after human trafficking, drug cartels, drug trafficking, and going after, and also saying that we, as a federal, agent or the federal government, when necessary and when it applies, will work to protect our police officers and our law enforcement community at large. There are times when they've been under attack. President Obama criticized the institution of law enforcement. He inflamed the tensions. You look at the deaths, the assassination of Wen Jianlu, Rafael Ramos here in New York. You look at others around the country. So what they're doing is they're flooding the zone on Nordstrom's.
And the Nordstrom stories are often one-sided as well, because it's Nordstrom says, well, it's just a business decision. But Nordstrom's been involved in commenting on the president's previous executive order on immigration and refugees.
Right.
So why no examination of the potential political motive of a Nordstrom?
Well, that doesn't matter to the narrative. The narrative is to flood the zone on anything Trump does to distract the American people from the work he's doing. By the way, I'll say this. I personally wish that he hadn't commented on Nordstrom. I understand a father defending his daughter. That is a natural reaction for a good man to defend his daughter, who's been very successful in her own right. She is a rock star. The other part of this is they need to go after her in some way, they being the liberals out there and the progressive left, because she is the example of what you can do when you want to be a successful woman, you work hard at it, and you achieve. So that's a threat to their women's march.
Well, and it's also a threat to the overall narrative of the Trump presidency. If he said he's going to be the law and order candidate, and then on Thursday he signs 3 executive orders to start making that happen, they just don't have an incentive or desire to report on that kind of follow-up.
No, and here's something that I've said on my show repeatedly. Examine the executive orders. I urge people to go read them. Some of them are a page long, 7 pages, 13 pages. You don't have to read an Obamacare-sized bill. But the executive orders that Trump has issued, by and large, are to enforce laws that exist. He's not making new law. That's contrary to what President Obama did.
Precisely.
He wrote executive orders to impede in enforcing our laws. Big difference between the two.
Which is why conservatives are not up in arms over executive orders that simply say enforce the laws that are on the books.
Right. There is a use for executive orders.
Sure.
And when used properly, they can help us as a country. When used improperly, they can lead to these situations that have happened with immigration enforcement and many other areas.
David Webb, always a clarifying voice. Thanks, man.
Good to see you,
Appreciate
Pete.
it. Good to see you.